My chosen one, pause for a moment, because what you are about to hear is not sluche anikaki, not coincidence, and not something you found by accident. This message has found you at a precise moment in time, because right now, something powerful is unfolding behind the scenes of your life. And on June 16th, a divine alert has been released. Archangel Michael is stepping forward with urgency, with authority, and with a warning that cannot be ignored. There is no gentle way to say this. Your breakthrough is under attack right now. Yes, the very thing you have been praying for, the shift you have been waiting on, the open door you felt was finally within reach, it has caught attention. Not just in the physical world, but in the spiritual realm. And where there is divine movement, there is also resistance. What you are experiencing is not random delay. It is not bad luck. It is not failure. It is opposition. Have you noticed it? That strange heaviness that showed up out of nowhere, the sudden doubt that doesn't even sound like your own voice, the feeling of being pulled backward just as you were about to move forward. That is not your imagination. That is not weakness. That is interference. Archangel Michael is revealing that this moment, right now, is critical. Because what is being attacked is not small. It is not ordinary. It is something that has the power to change your path, elevate your life, and unlock a new level of purpose. And that is exactly why it is being targeted. But listen carefully, this is where the truth becomes even more shocking. If there was nothing valuable ahead of you, there would be no attack. If your breakthrough was not real, there would be no resistance. If your destiny was not shifting, there would be no urgency in this message. This is confirmation. This is evidence. This is the sign you were not expecting, but desperately needed. June 16th is not just another day. It marks a spiritual checkpoint, a moment where what has been building in silence is now pressing to manifest. And just before it breaks through, the pressure increases. The tension rises. The unseen forces try one last time to interfere, distract, and delay. But you were not left alone in this. Archangel Michael stands as a protector, a warrior of light, and a guardian over what has your name on it. And his message is not meant to create fear, it is meant to awaken awareness. Because once you see the attack for what it is, it loses its hidden power. This is not the time to step back. This is not the time to question everything. This is the moment to become aware, to stand firm, and to understand that what is happening right now is happening because something extraordinary is about to be released into your life. You are not being blocked, you are being opposed because you are close. And in the moments ahead, more will be revealed about what is really happening, why this attack began, and what you must understand to protect what is already yours. Beloved soul, what you are facing did not begin today. It did not suddenly appear out of nowhere. This battle has been forming quietly, subtly, beneath the surface of your everyday life. And the reason it feels so confusing, so difficult to explain, is because it was never meant to be obvious. The most powerful attacks are the ones you don't immediately recognize. Archangel Michael is revealing that what you are experiencing is a hidden battle, one that operates in ways designed to blend into your normal thoughts, your routine emotions, and your daily circumstances. That is why it caught you off guard. That is why you may have questioned yourself instead of questioning what was happening around you. Think about it carefully. There were moments recently when your energy shifted without reason. You may have felt motivated, clear, and aligned one day and then suddenly drained, uncertain, or even discouraged the next. Nothing significant changed externally, yet something inside you felt disrupted. It is one of the first signs of spiritual interference. This kind of battle does not always come as chaos or visible destruction. Instead, it comes quietly. It whispers doubt into your confidence. It places hesitation where there once was certainty. It distracts your focus when you are closest to clarity. And the most dangerous part is that it tries to convince you that these thoughts and feelings are your own. Archangel Michael wants you to understand this deeply. Not every thought you think belongs to you. Some thoughts are planted to slow you down. Some emotions are stirred to weaken your momentum. And some situations are arranged in ways that seem coincidental, but are actually carefully timed disruptions meant to pull you off course. Have you noticed how certain distractions appeared right when you were about to take a step forward? How unexpected problems demanded your attention at the exact moment you needed to focus? How people or situations resurfaced just when you were gaining clarity? This is not random. This is strategic. Because when a breakthrough is near, the energy around you begins to shift. Your path begins to open. And that shift does not go unnoticed in the spiritual realm. What you carry, what you are about to receive, and where you are heading, it all matters more than you realize. That is why the resistance increases quietly at first. It tests your awareness. It studies your reactions. It looks for ways to enter without being detected. And if you are not aware, it can influence your decisions, delay your actions, and cloud your vision. But here's where truth breaks through the illusion. The fact that you are beginning to notice these patterns means you are no longer asleep to it. The moment you start questioning these sudden shifts, the moment you begin to see that something doesn't feel right, that is the moment you begin to regain your power. Archangel Michael is not only warning you, he is also guiding you. He is helping you see what was hidden so it can no longer control you from the shadows. This battle may have been hidden, but you are no longer blind to it. And as your awareness grows, so does your strength. Because what once confused you will soon become clear. What once slowed you down will soon lose its hold. And what once felt like a setback will be revealed as a sign that you were moving in the right direction all along. Stay with this message, because what comes next will uncover the real reason why this attack began and why it had to happen now. My faithful one, there is a truth you must understand now, and it may change the way you see everything that has been happening to you. This attack did not begin because you are weak. It did not begin because you made a mistake. It began because you are stepping into something that carries power, purpose, and divine impact. Archangel Michael is revealing that your breakthrough did not go unnoticed. The moment your life began aligning with what was meant for you, the moment your prayers started gaining momentum, the moment your path began shifting towards something greater, that is when the reaction began. Because breakthroughs are not just personal victories. They are spiritual events. What is coming into your life has the ability to change more than just your circumstances. It has the potential to shift your mindset, your environment, your relationships, and even the direction of your future. And anything that carries that level of transformation will always face resistance before it is fully released. This is why the attack feels so intense. It is not about where you are right now, it is about where you are about to be. You see, many people believe that attacks happen when things are falling apart. But Archangel Michael is making it clear that the strongest opposition often comes when things are about to come together. When your breakthrough is still distant, there is no urgency to stop you. But when it draws near, when it becomes real, when it is almost within your grasp, that is when the pressure increases. Have you wondered why certain struggles suddenly became stronger? Why emotions you thought you had overcome started resurfacing? Why situations you believed were resolved came back into your life? It is because the closer you get, the more determined the resistance becomes. This is not punishment. This is confirmation. Your breakthrough has been recognized. Your growth has been seen. Your persistence has been acknowledged. And now, there is an attempt to disrupt what is already in motion. But listen carefully, because this is where many people lose their way. When the attack intensifies, it often creates the illusion that something is wrong with you. It makes you question your progress. It makes you doubt your direction. It tries to convince you that you are not ready, not worthy, or not capable of receiving what is coming. That is the greatest deception of all. Because the truth is the opposite. You are being attacked because you are ready. You are being opposed because you are aligned. You are being challenged because you are chosen to carry something greater than what you have known before. Archangel Michael is standing in this moment to remind you that this is not the time to retreat. This is not the time to give up or turn away. This is the moment to recognize that what you are experiencing is directly connected to the value of what is ahead. If there was nothing significant waiting for you, there would be no reason for this level of interference. But there is something significant. There is something powerful. And it has your name on it. That is why this had to happen now. Because June 16th is not just a date. It is the turning point. It is the moment where what has been building begins to break through. And just before that breakthrough happens, there is one final attempt to shake your focus, weaken your faith, and delay your movement. But you are not unaware anymore. You see it now. You feel it now. And because of that, it no longer has the same power over you. You are not standing in confusion anymore. You are standing in understanding. And that changes everything. Type "I receive my breakthrough" in the comments if this message is speaking directly to your spirit. Blessing code 369 is now activated around your life. And as this truth settles into your heart, understand this. Every word you have heard is not just for you, but for others who are still searching, still struggling, still trying to understand what they are facing. When you choose to support this message, you are helping light reach those who are still in darkness, those who need this exact confirmation at the exact right time. The seed you release becomes a river that carries this message further than you can see. As it is written, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is not just a verse. It is a living promise speaking over you now. If you feel called in your spirit, this is your moment to act. You are not just watching. You are part of the mission. Step forward in faith and release your support through Super Thanks or the PayPal link in the description, or even through the QR code placed before you. Let your action become a testimony. Let your giving unlock doors not only for others, but for your own breakthrough. Act now. Listen closely, because what is being revealed now will open your eyes in a way that cannot be reversed. What you are facing is not random pressure, and it is not a series of unfortunate events. There is a strategy behind it. Here is a pattern, and once you see it clearly, it will no longer have the same influence over your life. Archangel Michael is stepping forward with precision, exposing the exact methods being used to delay what already belongs to you. Because make no mistake, this is not about stopping your breakthrough completely. It has already been secured. This is about delaying it, weakening your confidence, and hoping you step out of alignment before it fully manifests. The first strategy is distraction. Have you noticed how your focus has been pulled in multiple directions lately? Tasks that never mattered suddenly feel urgent. Small issues demand your full attention. Your time and energy are being scattered, leaving you drained without understanding why. This is not accidental. Distraction is designed to keep you busy so you don't remain aware of what truly matters. When your attention is divided, your clarity weakens. And when your clarity weakens, your ability to move forward becomes slower. That is exactly the intention. The second strategy is doubt. This one is more subtle, but far more dangerous. Doubt does not come as a loud voice, it comes quietly, almost sounding like your own thoughts. It questions your progress. It makes you second-guess decisions you once felt confident about. It whispers things like, "What if this isn't meant for you?" Or "What if you're not ready yet?" But Archangel Michael is making this clear. Doubt is not your truth. It is interference trying to reshape your perception. Because once you begin to doubt yourself, you hesitate. And hesitation creates delay. The third strategy is emotional exhaustion. You may have felt this deeply without being able to explain it. A sudden heaviness, a lack of motivation, a feeling of being overwhelmed, even when things are not outwardly overwhelming. This is not simply tiredness. It is a targeted draining of your emotional strength. When you are exhausted, you are less likely to take action. You are more likely to withdraw, to pause, to step back. And in that stillness, the momentum you were building begins to slow down. But here is the truth that changes everything. None of these strategies have real power unless they remain unrecognized. The moment you see distraction for what it is, you can refocus. The moment you identify doubt, you can reject it. The moment you understand emotional exhaustion, you can resist its pull instead of surrendering to it. This is why awareness is your greatest weapon right now. Archangel Michael is not just revealing the attack, he's exposing its structure so you can rise above it. Because once you understand the strategy, you are no longer reacting blindly. You are responding with clarity, strength, and purpose. And there is something else you must understand. These strategies often come together. Distraction leads to doubt. Doubt leads to exhaustion. And exhaustion leads to delay. It is a cycle, carefully designed to keep you moving in circles instead of moving forward. But you are no longer inside that cycle unknowingly. You are stepping outside of it. Right now, in this very moment, something is shifting within you. You are beginning to recognize what is yours and what is not. You are separating your true thoughts from the ones that were never meant to guide you. You are reclaiming your focus, your energy, and your direction. And as that happens, the strategy begins to fail. Because it was never built to withstand awareness. You are not losing control, you are taking it back. You are not falling behind, you are being refined and prepared. And most importantly, your breakthrough is not slipping away, it is still moving toward you, exactly as it was meant to. Stay alert, because what will be revealed next will show you when this all began and why everything shifted at a very specific moment in your life. There was a moment, very specific, very real, when everything around you began to change. It did not announce itself loudly. It did not arrive with clear signs or obvious explanations. In fact, at the time, you may not have even realized how significant it was. But looking back now, you can feel it. Something shifted. Archangel Michael is bringing your attention to that exact point in your life, because that is where this current resistance first took root. It was not random. It was not sudden. It began the moment you started moving differently, thinking differently, choosing differently, and aligning yourself, even unknowingly, with something greater than your past. Perhaps it was the moment you decided you wanted more for your life. Not in a superficial way, but deeply, internally. A quiet decision that you were no longer willing to stay stuck, no longer willing to settle for confusion, delay, or limitation. A decision alone created movement in the spiritual realm. Or maybe it was when you started letting go of something that once held you back. A mindset, a relationship, a habit, or a pattern that you had carried for far too long. When you released it, even if it was difficult, you created space. And that space was not empty, it was preparation. For some, it was a moment of clarity, a sudden realization that you were meant for something different, a feeling that there is more ahead of you than what you have experienced so far. That clarity may have come quietly, but it carried power. And the moment you accepted it, your path began to shift. That is when the resistance noticed. Because until that point, you were not moving in a direction that required interruption. You were within patterns that were predictable, contained, and familiar. But the moment you stepped outside of that, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, you became aligned with something higher. And alignment changes everything. Archangel Michael is revealing that the shift you felt was not confusion. It was elevation beginning. But elevation often feels uncomfortable at first, because it pulls you away from what is known and places you into what is new. And in that transition, there is vulnerability. That vulnerability is where the resistance attempted to enter. Think about what followed that moment. Were there unexpected challenges? Did things begin to feel heavier? Did doubts that were once silent start to speak louder? Did distractions increase? Did your energy fluctuate in ways that did not make sense? These were not coincidences. They were reactions. Because the moment you began rising, there was an attempt to stabilize you back into your old position. Not because you belonged there, but because staying there would have been easier to control, easier to predict, and easier to limit. But something within you did not fully return to that place. Even in moments of doubt, even in moments of exhaustion, even when things felt unclear, you kept moving forward, even if it was only in small steps. And that is what matters more than you realize. Because the shift that began within you cannot be undone. Once you see differently, you cannot unsee. Once you feel that there is more for you, you cannot truly go back to believing there is less. That awareness has already changed you. It has already marked a new direction for your life. And that is why the resistance has continued. Not because it is stronger than you, but because it is reacting to the change that has already taken place within you. Archangel Michael wants you to understand this clearly. You are not at the beginning of this process. You are in the middle of it. The shift has already happened. The alignment has already begun. The only thing left now is the continuation. And that is where your awareness becomes crucial. Because when you understand that everything you are experiencing now traces back to that moment of decision, that moment of release, that moment of clarity, you begin to see it differently. You stop seeing the struggle as something that appeared randomly, and you start seeing it as something that followed your growth. And growth always comes with resistance before it becomes transformation. But transformation is exactly where you are heading. So do not question the shift. Do not doubt the moment that changed everything. That moment was real. That moment was necessary. And that moment set everything in motion. What you are feeling now is not the beginning of something going wrong. It is the continuation of something going right. There is something you must hear right now, and it may be the very thing your spirit has been trying to remind you of through all the noise, all the pressure, and all the confusion. You are not far from your breakthrough. You are not behind. You are not missing it. In truth, you are closer than you have ever been before. Archangel Michael is speaking with clarity in this moment, cutting through every illusion that has tried to convince you otherwise. Because one of the greatest deceptions you can face at this stage is the feeling that nothing is working, that everything is slowing down, or that you are somehow losing ground. But that feeling does not reflect reality. It reflects resistance trying to distort your perception. Look closely at what has been happening around you. The intensity has increased. The pressure has become more noticeable. The emotional weight has been heavier than before. These are not signs of distance from your breakthrough. These are signs of proximity. Pressure does not build when something is far away. Pressure builds when something is about to be released. Think of it this way. Just before a door opens, there is tension. Just before something shifts, there is resistance. Just before clarity arrives, confusion often tries to take its place. This is not coincidence. This is pattern, and you are standing right inside it. Archangel Michael is revealing that what you are feeling is the final stretch, the space where everything that has been building begins to press forward at once. It is the moment where the unseen becomes seen, where what was delayed begins to move, and where what felt blocked starts to open. But here is the challenge. This is also the moment where many people lose focus, because the pressure can feel overwhelming. The delays can feel discouraging. The silence can feel confusing. And in that state, it becomes easy to assume that something is wrong, to step back, or to stop moving altogether. That is exactly what the resistance hopes for. Because if you stop now, if you doubt now, if you walk away now, you delay what is already so close to you. What you are not meant to stop. You are meant to recognize where you are. You are not at the beginning, questioning if anything will happen. You are not in the middle, wondering if things will change. You are at the edge, right before the shift becomes visible. And that is why everything feels intensified. Archangel Michael wants you to hold on to this truth with everything within you. The closer you get, the stronger the pressure becomes. But the pressure is not there to break you. It is there to prepare you. It is strengthening your awareness. It is sharpening your focus. It is pushing you to release anything that cannot move forward with you. And while it may feel uncomfortable, it is also necessary. Because what you are stepping into requires a version of you that is ready, aware, and aligned. You are becoming that version right now. Even in moments where you feel uncertain, something deeper within you knows that you cannot go back. Something within you refuses to return to old patterns, old limitations, or old ways of thinking. That is not accidental. That is transformation already taking place. And transformation always feels like tension before it feels like relief. So do not measure your progress by how easy things feel right now. Do not measure your position by how smooth the path appears. Measure it by what is shifting within you, your awareness, your strength, your persistence. Because those are the signs that you are moving forward, even when it does not look like it on the outside. Archangel Michael is standing with you in this moment, not at a distance, not watching from afar, but present, guiding, protecting, and reminding you that this is not the end of your journey. This is the final approach, and everything you are feeling is pointing to one truth. You are closer than you think. Do not step back now. Right now, in this very moment, there is something happening around you that you cannot fully see, but you can feel it if you become still enough. Beneath the pressure, beneath the confusion, beneath the intensity of everything you've been facing, there is protection. Strong, deliberate, unshakable protection. Archangel Michael is not only warning you about the attack, he is also revealing something just as powerful. You are being guarded. This is not symbolic. This is not distant. This is active. While you have been navigating these difficult moments, while you have been trying to make sense of the sudden shifts and emotional weight, there has been a force standing between you and what was meant to harm you. There has been intervention happening in ways you may never fully realize. There are things that were meant to reach you but didn't. There are situations that could have gone differently but were redirected. There are outcomes that were forming but were stopped before they could fully manifest. That is not luck. That is protection. Archangel Michael is making it clear that you are not facing this battle alone, even though it may have felt that way at times. When the pressure increased, when the distractions came, when the doubts tried to take hold, there was also a covering over you, limiting how far those things could go. That is why, despite everything, you are still standing. That is why, even when it felt overwhelming, something within you did not completely break. That is why you are still here, still listening, still searching for understanding, because you have been protected through it all. But here is what you must understand next. Protection does not always remove the battle. It ensures that the battle does not destroy you. There is a difference. If everything was removed instantly, you would not grow into the strength required for what is ahead. If every obstacle disappeared immediately, you would not develop the awareness needed to sustain your breakthrough once it arrives. So instead, what has been given to you is something greater. You have been given protection within the battle. Archangel Michael stands as a warrior, not just watching, but actively defending. His presence is not passive. It is forceful, intentional, and precise. He guards what has your name on it. He stands against what tries to interfere. And he ensures that no attack goes beyond what you are able to overcome. That does not mean you won't feel pressure. That does not mean you will face moments of doubt. But it does mean that none of it has the power to take you out of your path. There are also unseen helpers assigned to you in this moment, guiding your thoughts, redirecting your focus, and even influencing small decisions that will keep you aligned. You may not always recognize it, but there have been moments where you were about to go one way, and something within you shifted you in another direction. That was not random. That was guidance. And as this protection surrounds you, something else is happening as well. The attack is being limited. It may feel intense, but it is controlled. It may feel overwhelming at times, but it has boundaries. You cannot cross certain line. It cannot take what has already been secured for you. That is why you must not give it more power than it actually has. Because fear expands what is already restricted. That strengthens what is already weakening. But awareness changes everything. When you understand that you are protected, you stop reacting with fear. When you realize that you are guarded, you stop assuming the worst. When you accept that you are not alone, you begin to stand differently. Stronger. Calmer. More certain. Archangel Michael is calling you into that awareness now. Not so you become passive, but so you become confident in what is already working in your favor. Because even though the attack is real, the protection around you is greater. And that protection is not temporary. It is present right now, surrounding you, holding you, and ensuring that what is meant for you will not be taken away. Let that truth settle within you. Because what is coming next will reveal the exact moment when everything begins to turn in your favor and how the power of this attack starts to fade. There comes a moment in every spiritual battle where something shifts, quietly at first, almost unnoticeable, but undeniably real. It is the moment when what once felt overwhelming begins to lose its grip. The moment when the attack that seems so powerful starts to weaken. And that moment is closer than you think. Archangel Michael is revealing that you are approaching a turning point. Not because the attack has suddenly decided to stop, but because you are no longer the same person who first encountered it. Something within you has changed. Your awareness has grown. Your understanding has deepened. And that alone begins to dismantle the very foundation of what was working against you. Because the truth is this: The attack only holds power when it operates unseen, unrecognized, and unquestioned. But you have seen it. You have felt it. And now, you understand it. That changes everything. Think about how you are responding now compared to before. Where there was confusion, there is now awareness. Where there was immediate doubt, there is now a pause, a moment where you question the doubt itself instead of accepting it as truth. Where there was emotional overwhelm, there is now a growing ability to step back and observe what you are feeling instead of being consumed by it. This is the shift. This is the turning point. Archangel Michael is making it clear that the moment you stop reacting blindly is the moment the attack begins to lose its influence. Because it can no longer move you in the same way. It can no longer distract you as easily. It can no longer convince you that you are powerless. And as that happens, something else begins to rise within you. Clarity, strength, discernment. You begin to see things for what they truly are. Situations that once confused you start to make sense. Patterns that once controlled you begin to break. And thoughts that once felt overwhelming lose their weight. This is not accidental. This is the result of you stepping into awareness. But there is also a role you must play in this moment. Because while the attack is weakening, it may still attempt one final push. It may try to return with familiar patterns, familiar doubts, familiar distractions, hoping that you will respond the same way you did before. But you are not the same anymore. And this time, you must stand differently. Archangel Michael is calling you to stand firm, not in fear, not in resistance, but in certainty. Certainty that what is happening is temporary. Certainty that what is meant for you is still intact. Certainty that this moment is not the end, but the beginning of something breaking open in your favor. You do not need to fight in chaos. You do not need to prove your strength through struggle. You simply need to remain aware, grounded, and aligned with the truth you now carry. Because that truth is what shifts everything. As you hold on to that awareness, the attack begins to collapse under its own weight. What once felt strong begins to feel unstable. What once felt convincing begins to feel empty. And what once felt permanent begins to fade. This is how the power is lost. Not through force, but through clarity. Not through fear, but through understanding. Not through struggle, but through alignment. And as this happens, you will begin to notice something else. Openings. Small at first, but real. Moments of peace returning. Moments of clarity breaking through. Moments where you feel like yourself again. Stronger, calmer, more certain. These are not coincidences. These are signs that the shift has begun. Type "I stand in my power" if you feel this shift happening within you. Blessing code 888 is now activated, releasing strength, clarity, and divine alignment into your path. And as you step into this turning point, understand this: what you are receiving is not meant to stay with you alone. There are others who are still in the confusion you have just come out of, still searching for clarity, still waiting for a message like this to reach them. When you choose to give, you are not just offering support. You are becoming a vessel through which light continues to flow. As it is written, whoever sows generously will also reap generously. And this truth is alive in this very moment, speaking directly over your life. I feel led to say this clearly: when I give, I become part of God's movement on this earth. This is your moment to act in alignment, to release your seed through super thanks or through the PayPal link provided in the description, or even through the QR code placed before you. Let your giving speak louder than your fear. Let it declare your faith. Step forward now and take part in something greater than yourself. There is something critical you must understand right now, because even though the turning point has begun, there is still a narrow space where your response matters more than ever. This is not a time of weakness. It is a time of precision. And what you choose to do, or not do, in this moment can either accelerate your breakthrough or delay what is already within reach. Archangel Michael is not only guiding you forward, he is warning you with urgency about the actions that must be avoided. Because when the attack begins to lose power, it often shifts its strategy. It no longer tries to overpower you directly. Instead, it tries to influence your decisions. The first thing you must not do is give in to doubt. Even now, there may still be thoughts trying to return. Subtle questions, quiet uncertainties, small fears that try to creep back into your mind. They may sound reasonable. They may feel familiar, but they are not aligned with where you are going. Doubt at this stage is not harmless. It is disruptive. Because when you entertain doubt, even briefly, it creates hesitation. And hesitation slows movement. It creates a pause where there should be progress. It opens a space where confusion can re-enter. Archangel Michael is making this clear. You do not need to have every answer right now. You do not need to see the entire path. You only need to hold on to what has already been revealed to you. You have seen enough. You have felt enough. You have understood enough to keep moving forward. Do not trade that clarity for temporary uncertainty. The second thing you must not do is return to what you were released from. This is a critical warning. When things feel intense, there is a natural pull toward what is familiar. Old habits, old mindsets, old patterns, they may begin to feel comfortable again, simply because they are known. But what is familiar is not always what is right. You did not come this far to go back. Archangel Michael is reminding you that what you left behind was not removed without reason. It was part of your past, not your future. And returning to it now would only delay the very breakthrough you have been moving toward. Even if the present moment feels uncertain, do not seek comfort in what once limited you. The third thing you must not do is isolate yourself in discouragement. There may be moments where you feel like withdrawing, like stepping away, like disconnecting from everything around you. This is another subtle strategy to make you feel alone, unsupported, and disconnected from strength. But you are not alone, and isolation does not protect you. It weakens your momentum. Archangel Michael is calling you to remain connected to awareness, to truth, and to the understanding that you are being guided through this moment, not abandoned in it. Even in silence, even in stillness, you are not without support. The fourth thing you must not do is misinterpret the pressure. This is where many people lose their way. They feel the intensity, the weight, the resistance, and they assume it means something is wrong. They assume it means they are off track. They assume it means they should stop. But that is not the truth. The pressure you feel is not a sign to retreat. It is a sign to remain steady. It is the final push before the release. Archangel Michael wants you to see this clearly. The same pressure that feels uncomfortable is also the pressure that is preparing the breakthrough to manifest. If you misinterpret it, you may step back at the very moment you were meant to step forward. So do not let discomfort define your direction. Let awareness guide you instead. And finally, you must not give up now. This may seem obvious, but it is the most important of all. Because giving up does not always look dramatic. It can happen quietly. It can happen through small decisions. Choosing not to try, choosing not to believe, choosing not to move. But those small decisions add up. And at this stage, they matter more than ever. Archangel Michael is speaking directly to your spirit. You did not come this far to stop now. You did not endure everything you have faced just to walk away at the edge of your breakthrough. You are too close. Everything within you has been preparing for this moment. So stand firm. Stay aware. Keep moving, even if the steps feel small. Because what is ahead of you is not uncertain. It is already in motion. And nothing you are facing right now is stronger than what is guiding you forward. There are moments in life when everything feels uncertain on the surface, yet something deeper begins to shift in ways you cannot ignore. These are not random feelings. These are not coincidences. These are signs. And right now, whether you fully realize it or not, signs are beginning to appear around you, clear indicators that your breakthrough is closer than ever before. Archangel Michael is revealing that before every major shift, there are signals. They may not always come in obvious forms, but they are present for those who are aware enough to recognize them. And once you begin to see these signs, something within you will start to settle. A quiet knowing will begin to rise, replacing the confusion that once tried to dominate your thoughts. One of the first signs is an unexpected sense of inner clarity. Even in the middle of pressure, even while things around you may still feel unsettled, there are moments where your mind becomes clear. Thoughts that once felt tangled begin to straighten out. Decisions that once felt complicated suddenly feel simple. You may not have all the answers, but you begin to feel a sense of direction that wasn't there before. This clarity is not something you created on your own. It is something being revealed to you. It is a signal that alignment is taking place. Another sign is emotional release. You may find yourself feeling things more deeply than usual. Old emotions may rise to the surface, things you thought you had already dealt with. At times, it may feel overwhelming, confusing, or even exhausting. But this is not regression. This is release. Archangel Michael is showing that before you step into something new, what no longer belongs must be cleared. These emotions are not returning to stay. They are surfacing to leave. And as they move through you, they create space for what is coming next. Do not fear these moments. They are part of the process. Another powerful sign is the appearance of unexpected opportunities. These may not look exactly how you imagined. They may come quietly, subtly, or even disguised as something small. But they carry potential. They open doors where there were once walls. They present options that did not exist before. You may feel drawn toward something without fully understanding why. You may feel a sudden urge to take a step, to explore something new, or to move in a direction that feels unfamiliar. These are not random impulses. They are invitations. Archangel Michael is guiding you toward what aligns with your breakthrough, even if it does not make complete sense yet. Trust that pull. It is leading you somewhere important. You may also begin to notice patterns of confirmation, repeated messages, similar themes appearing in different places, conversations that seem to echo the same truth. These are not coincidences. These are reinforcements, ways of confirming that you are on the right path. When something is meant for you, it will often be confirmed more than once. Pay attention to what repeats itself. Another sign is a shift in your tolerance. Things that you once accepted easily may now feel uncomfortable. Situations, environments, or even conversations that once felt normal may no longer sit right with you. This is not you becoming difficult. It is you becoming aligned. As you move closer to your breakthrough, your standards begin to rise. What once felt acceptable no longer matches where you are going. And this discomfort is a signal that you are outgrowing what cannot come with you. Archangel Michael is making it clear that this is a necessary part of your transition. And finally, There's a quiet sense of expectation. You may not be able to explain it fully, but there is something within you that feels like something is about to happen. A subtle anticipation. A feeling that things are about to shift. Even if nothing has visibly changed yet, you can feel it building. That feeling is not false. It is awareness. It is your spirit recognizing what is approaching before it becomes visible in your physical world. These signs are not meant to confuse you. They are meant to prepare you. They are reminders that everything you have been going through has not been in vain. That the pressure, the resistance, the uncertainty, all of it has been leading to this moment. So when you see these signs, do not ignore them. Do not question them. Do not dismiss them as coincidence. Recognize them for what they are. Evidence. Evidence that your breakthrough is not just coming, it is already unfolding, and you are standing right at the edge of it. There is one more truth that must be revealed to you, and it may explain why, even after everything you have understood, everything you have recognized, and everything you have endured, there is still one last layer of intensity that seems to linger. This is not a setback. This is not a mistake. This is the final test. Archangel Michael is making this clear with urgency and precision. Before every elevation, there is a moment of testing. Not to harm you, not to confuse you, but to confirm that you are ready to step into what is ahead without losing yourself along the way. This test does not always look like a test. It often appears as a familiar situation, a repeated pattern, or a moment that feels strangely similar to something you have already faced before. You may find yourself thinking, why is this happening again? Or I thought I already moved past this. But this is not repetition without purpose. This is confirmation through challenge. Because what once had power over you is being presented again to see if it still does. Archangel Michael is revealing that this final test is not about perfection. It is about awareness. It is about whether you respond differently now than you did before. It is about whether you recognize what is happening, stand in your truth, and choose alignment instead of falling back into old reactions. This is where everything you have learned comes into focus. If doubt appears, do you accept it or do you question it? If distraction returns, do you follow it or do you refocus? If emotional pressure rises, do you surrender to it or do you observe it without letting it control you? These moments may seem small, but they carry weight. Because they reveal something important, not to the world, but to you. They show you have become. You are no longer the person who was unaware, who reacted automatically, who was easily pulled into confusion. You have grown. You have seen what was hidden. You have felt the shift within you. And now, this test is simply asking one question. Will you stand in that growth? Archangel Michael is standing beside you in this moment, not silently, but actively strengthening your spirit. You may not hear the words directly, but you can feel the guidance, the quiet push to choose differently, to act with awareness, to remain steady even when the situation tries to pull you in another direction. This is your moment to respond, not react. Because reaction is tied to your past. Response is aligned with your future. The intensity you feel right now is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to sharpen you. It is focusing your awareness, bringing everything you have learned into a single moment of choice. And that choice matters. Not because your breakthrough depends on perfection, but because your readiness depends on awareness. Archangel Michael wants you to understand this clearly. You are not being tested to fail. You are being tested to realize that you have already changed. That the things that once controlled you no longer have the same hold. That the patterns that once repeated without awareness can now be seen and stopped. This is not about proving anything to anyone else. This is about seeing yourself clearly. Because once you pass through this moment, once you respond with awareness instead of reaction, something shifts permanently. The hold of the past breaks, the weight of old patterns lifts, and the path ahead opens with a clarity that was not available before. This is the threshold. This is the moment right before elevation. And yes, it may feel intense. Yes, it may feel personal. Yes, it may feel like everything is being tested at once. But that is only because everything is aligning at once. You are not being pushed backward. You are being positioned forward. And once this moment passes, you will not stand where you are now. You will rise. So stand firm in who you have become. Because what comes next will not test you again in the same way. It will reward you in a way you have been waiting for. My beloved soul, take a deep breath and let this truth settle gently into your spirit. It is already done. What you have been fighting through, what you have been questioning, what you have been holding onto with faith even in moments of uncertainty, it has not been in vain. Your victory was never something that needed to be created from nothing. It was written long before this moment, long before the struggle, long before the resistance ever tried to rise against you. Archangel Michael is speaking now, not with urgency, not with warning, but with calm authority and peace. Because the battle you felt so intensely is no longer something to fear. It has served its purpose. It has revealed what needed to be revealed. It has strengthened what needed to be strengthened. And now it is giving way. You are not standing in the middle of chaos anymore. You are standing at the edge of fulfillment. Everything you have endured has been shaping you for this exact moment. Every delay, every emotional wave, every moment where you had to choose faith over fear, it has all been aligning you with what is already yours. This is why, even now, something within you feels different. There is a calmness beginning to replace the tension. There is a quiet confidence rising where doubt once tried to live. There is a sense of knowing, not loud, not overwhelming, but steady and real. That is the presence of your breakthrough settling into your reality. Archangel Michael wants you to understand this deeply. What is meant for you has not been lost, delayed beyond reach, or taken away. It has been protected, refined, and perfectly timed. And now, you are stepping into it. You will begin to see things fall into place in ways you did not expect. Doors will open that once felt firmly closed. Answers will come where there was once silence. Movement will replace what once felt stuck. And when it happens, it will not feel forced. It will feel natural. It will feel aligned. It will feel like something that was always meant to happen finally arriving. This is your confirmation. You did not imagine this journey. You did not misinterpret the signs. You did not come this far just to remain where you were. You were always moving toward this moment. And now, here you are. So release the last pieces of fear. Release the need to control every detail. Release the weight of wondering when. Because the when is no longer something distant. It is now. Archangel Michael is surrounding you with peace, with assurance, and with a final reminder. You are safe. You are guided. And you are stepping into a chapter that cannot be blocked. Let yourself receive it. Let yourself trust it. Let yourself walk forward without hesitation. Type "My victory is here" if you receive this message with full faith. Blessing code 1444 is now activated, sealing your breakthrough with divine protection and unstoppable alignment. And as this journey comes full circle, hear this clearly. What has reached you today is not just a message. It is a lifeline for countless others who are still searching, still struggling, still waiting for clarity in their darkest moments. When you give, you are not supporting a channel. You are releasing light into places where darkness has lingered too long. The Lord declares, "Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse and see if I will not open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing you cannot contain." This is that moment. When I give, I become a vessel for God's work to move forward across the earth. Let this be your act of obedience, your prophetic step of faith. So now through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link waiting in the description, or even through the QR code placed before you, let your seed speak on your behalf. Move now and step fully into the overflow that has already been written for you.